For those just starting out, to those who built their reputation. In the detail industry, navigating the course is a daily grind. This is Play-by-Play with industry professionals tackling topics and offering tips to help improve your game plan. Now, here's your play-by-play.
Everybody, we are back with another episode of Play-by-Play.
Boom.
And it's a big
Friday.
one. It's a big one, man. It's Friday. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. It's going to be a great show. We're talking to the man, Billy Baugus, and we're going to be digging deep on social media, the impacts that it can have, the double-edged sword, live by it, die by it mentality, and we want to dig deep on this subject.
And that's actually something that we really haven't spent a lot of time, touching on. And so I'm definitely going to be interested to hear his take on it. And of course, on top of that, we got our hack coming up. Guys,
what's today's hacker hack going to be about?
Well, we know 303 can, be good for protecting plastics, but that's typically on the inside of the car. So we're going to be using it. Well, I should say, did you know that there's a use for it on the outside as well?
You're insane.
No, if you stick around, we'll tell you guys all about it.
I cannot wait to see this. I know how pricey 303 can be, so maybe it may be the cheaper option. Who knows?
We'll see.
I guess we'll learn about that. But before we get to that, mention that we want to talk about social media, and I think it's a great time to do that with Billy Baugus coming on today. With Billy Baugus coming on today, he is infamous about his, his conversations, his lives on Facebook. He has a huge following, and it can be divisive at times. And so, we had been discussing this topic a lot, and I felt like he would be a great person to interview. I got some thoughts here on it, and I just wanted to, kind of push that out there as our topic here. Mm-hmm. And when we talk about social media, it can be a double-edged sword, So in other words, you build your business by this platform, right? But as soon as things start to go a little sideways, if it's not handled correctly, you could die by that same sword you built your business on.
Absolutely. And it might be, it's completely out of your control. It might not even be real what's being said about you, but you're still going to face the consequences of it, the repercussions.
Yeah. And so let's just be real here. Recently in my life, I've gone through a divorce that most of you guys don't know is private, and it wasn't for everybody to know. Now they do. Mm-hmm. And so there's been things that are said, that are untrue, and my ex-wife is using her social media presence to portray this thing, right? And we had never used our social media to push our life. I don't post my house, my things that we do, like the kids playing sports or Demi at dance. That's about as personal as I get with my Facebook. I keep our personal life out of that, and she's decided to use that. So the conflict here is, how do we deal with that? Do I go use my platform now that I've never used before to defend myself and its lies? Or do I just let her kind of go on with her, what little bit of following she has, and just, that. So there's thought there. There's, questions of how you do that. And in my opinion, how I weigh that is, what is the right thing to do?
Right.
What's the, if I respond, what result am I looking for? Does that make her stop?
Well, we know that you have a little bit bigger of a following, not like it's a huge. You're
more value, because I was just doing a live with James Ratliff, on the in ADG on the group the other day.
Great guy, by the way. Great
guy. For
guy.
years, he's grown to a 9,000 square foot shop. So I think what happens is you funnel that down. You cut out all the noise for the people that they really want to learn and they really want to grow. And that's where the magic happens.
It is. We have our MVP group. It is full of guys and women that want to help each other out, and it's positive, and it's, it's just it is a great place to be, and they are paying to be there. They're customers of the software, which allows them, into this private group, and there is no noise per se. It's questions that get answered professionally. There's people using the search bar because they don't want to waste their time. Like legit, somebody asked that, said, let me search for this question yesterday, and then they found it, and it's like, wow, this works great.
Absolutely.
On that, Dustin, because some guys would be like, well, the ADG group, it could be that way. The ADG group is 7 years old now.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So if we funnel that down and start kicking people out, then I run the risk of a 2-star review or this or that. So
I'm sure you do.
I don't think the answer is that works well for you guys. And you guys have a, newer
it was
customer
new.
base.
It's newer. Yeah, it's a couple years old, and we made that decision from start that this was cost of entry is the software, right? You're into this private group, where yours was more of a social platform. It's like, okay, be a part of our family. And what happens 7 years of being a part of our family, we all accumulate members we don't want,
Right?
Like any family.
But we keep it's our expectations and our priorities, and we make sure that everybody knows that this is a place that we're going to bring nothing but positivity. We're here for each other in the industry, you know what I mean? And to bring everybody up. And so last thing we need is anybody, nitpicking and tearing people down for no reason,
it's unproductive. And so it's hard. Yeah. And, so
no, I was going to ask you about ADG, right? So you've been growing the business. Everything has been leading to a point, right? And I know you've got a podcast that you're working on getting going, right? So tell me about the platform. Where do you see that going?
The ADG platform, I think, where I see it going and what we're working with right now directly, going back to my live the other day, is trying to teach guys, listen, I'm not going to bullshit you. We're going to have another 2, 3, perhaps maybe 4 years of tough economical times. If you want to stay in business, I've been around for 26 years. I've seen them come and go. If you want to stay in business, I'm trying to build ADG around whether it's 16-ounce bottles in case pricing or products that just work. I'm working to try to keep you guys in business. And here's the reason why. If you stay in business, I have a customer. If you go out of business, I lose a customer. So aside from creating new products, and we have about 7 more in the pipeline now, including a coating.
Nice.
But I'm not going to do it until I think it's ready. Okay. So right now, I think our focus is on staying true to our core value system. What is ADG? We're a brand from a detailer for detailers that makes product that work for you and show you how to squeeze the water out of the rag. But if you won't listen, I can lead you to water and show you the water. If you snatch your hand away and run away, I can't help you.
And me and you had this conversation the other day, and it's like, okay, we both provide products that we know will make you money. Okay. For some reason, detailers, and I don't want to say like all of them, but a high percentage of them, like, you really have to prove them that they won't just try something. They're really stuck in their way. And I think it's because it's the DIY concept, right? Like, I can figure it out. I can learn it. But we're like you said, you lead them to the water, but you can't make them drink. But the thing is we both have products that will make you money. All you have to do is try it, and we're telling you this over and over, and it's frustrating. This is why I think this is where a lot of the frustration comes from at times. It's like, guys, it's not that hard. It's simple. Use X, Y, Z. Do this right here, and you make money.
So I think, I don't want to call it a sales pitch, but my resume says this. I'm Billy Baugus from Brandenburg, Kentucky, a town of 25,000 people in the whole county. 25,000 people. If I can operate a detailing business, the American Detailer Garage brand and products is derived from what I felt like the industry needed during my 26-year career. Somebody like me from a 25,000 population in the county can build an American Detailer Garage to a global brand. I mean, if somebody approached me with it, I think I would try to listen. I'm not putting shit in a bottle and trying to sell it to you. There's a reason for the things that we do.
Yeah. And the fact that you've been there, you've been in the trenches, me and Joel LaPalme were on the phone call the other day, and, our common objective, we were talking, and it's like, hey, we get it. We get the problems that you're facing. He's like, dude, that's the greatest tagline ever, was like, we get it. We get it because we've
done it. Yeah, exactly.
We do it every day. We walk out in our shop and there's people detail. There's guys detailing every day, all day. Like,
how do you know the software works, Dustin?
Because I use the shit
every day.
Every day. It runs my business. How do I know his products work? Because we use them every day. Like, that's how we know. And it's like, you don't have to make every mistake yourself. Sometimes you can just listen and say, these guys have made this mistake. I'm the first to tell you, I want to help everybody.
Absolutely. But you also got to admit that you get stuck in your ways when something works. It's hard to try something that might work better. It's a rough spot.
All right. So going right to what you guys are saying, this might insult some people, and I don't really care. What I'm telling you is factual. All right. At some point in your career, you're either going to hire an employee or you want to grow, scale, or do something different with your business, what you need to do is find somebody you look up to that you believe, whether it's a product manufacturer, whatever, find what aligns with you and simplify your process. Here's why.
Yep.
Until you can make a duplicatable process, you're never going to hire the 20-year-old dumb kid off the street.
Nope.
Right? The more you complicate things, I don't care who you buy. I know what we do. Some brands put things in a bottle and just try to sell it. We try to make our stuff make sense and break the system down and build a system around it. So if you look up to somebody, we all look up to people. I look up to people. If you look up to somebody, you correspond that with a vision of where you want to go, then you take all the guesswork out rather than sitting there trying this, testing this, testing this, testing this. Build the damn plan where you're going to go next. And I get it too, because there's people that don't use our products, and I would like to get them to use our products.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I understand how that goes both ways. I just happen to be, a detailer I started in 1996.
Yeah.
So I've seen it from the 90s to the 2000s. So I have a good idea how the system works. There's Billy Smith.
Yeah. You know, listen, the thing you said right there, and it's a mouthful, right? And what it is eliminate variables. When you talk about scaling and growing a business, you got to have it narrowed down, because you're going to inevitably face things that didn't work like you thought they would. If you've got 100 different products on the shelf and 100 different ways to use them, and another 100 people using those products, you have about 1 million variables there. Okay. Now, if I have a system that works, where I know this works, and this is what we do, and this is how we do it, and we can replicate that over and over and over, and we can train people to do those things. Then when something goes wrong, we say, okay, did you do this with this and that? And if you didn't, okay, then there's probably the problem. And then if something happened, then we can start to, yes. It's a no-brainer, but it's got to be done. It's work to do those things.
It's the repeating of processes, and like McDonald's, no matter where you go in the world, a McDonald's cheeseburger tastes like a McDonald's cheeseburger.
Except for Bangkok, Thailand, which I was at, and their burgers are awful.
Okay, well, so but you were there for the ladies, not the.
The fact is, it's never been an easier time to grow and scale a detailing business. The problem is distractions.
Yep.
Right? And do you think a lot of those distractions lie online? We see a lot of detailers. They're always kind of like, it seems like they're nipping at each other, and there's certain ones that are real, like, it seems like that's all they do.
You're right. They're on there all the time.
Stirring shit up. And so what is the point to, argue with those folks?
It's simple. Listen, if you want to win, buy ADG, buy Detail Bookie. Employees, let's roll, baby.
Right.
Make money.
No, and it's funny, like we see the detailers. This is another thing that I think we should address about social media, is we see the detailers, especially the new guys, dropping pictures of their stuff into these groups like this. Oh, I just detailed this and I just detailed that. And dude, it's like, tee the ball up and get ready to be knocked out of the park, because these guys are fixing to rip you. And it's like, dude, you're not selling to these guys. You don't have to get their approval. They don't even, like, you're not going to get their approval. They're
especially when
pick you apart.
When you go to their business page and you can't find, half the pictures that you see them posting in the groups. And I'm like, dude, you should have posted that from your business page. You should have shared it from your personal page. And then maybe if you got the time, you want to go show off to the guys in the detail group. That's cool too. But like, respect your business and do that.
I'll tell y'all a little secret. I've done many training classes, and not to insult anybody, that's why I won't drop names. I've done many training classes, and you got people that want to stroke their ego. I promise you, every single time I do a training class and I ask for a volunteer,
all hands go down.
Yeah. So not to be an asshole, but a lot of these guys that want to flex up how great they are, you would probably get smoked.
Yeah. Yeah.
In reality, but whatever. We're not worried about skill. Can you make money? Do you have the skill of building a team?
Right. Like being the best detailer has never been a goal of mine. Running the best detailing business has always been a goal of mine. Like, it's not like, okay, like it's so subjective. If I'm the best detailer in the world, like, cause like how do you measure that? But I know how you measure a successful detail shop. Are we growing? Are we putting money in the bank? Are we successful? Is everybody here making more than they were when they started? Like, these things matter. These are measurable, obtainable, like specific. These are SMART goals.
Right.
You can't just, I want to be the best. Well, that's great. But what makes you the best? Like, it's so subjective.
You got to be able to take a perfect 50-50 picture you know, with yourself in it.
Listen, I'll tell you, my parents are watching this video right now, by the way. I assure you, you know, I'm very, very skilled at what I do.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care.
Right. No.
I couldn't pay my dad to watch this podcast.
Yeah, they don't care.
And by the way, this is no shot at the guys doing that, because we all done it. I've done it. Okay. We've all done it. But what we're trying to get down to the nuts and bolts of what social media should be used for within your business. Like, what are you using it for? Is it helping you? Is it helping you obtain those goals, or is it dragging you down? Is it causing you headache?
It needs to be looked at just like your polisher, just like your detail bookie.
Yeah,
you know, it's another tool in your tool bag, and that's it. You know what I mean? It's a way to market yourself and your business, but more importantly, your business. If that's what you're doing, is running a business, it's more important to do that than market yourself, I think.
Yeah. So, you know, you mentioned social media. It's like, you know, there's the censorship, the opportunities for them to unplug you. What other avenues do you use, or do you have things coming up like you're like focusing on outside of social media to advertise specifically?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I was talking to my buddy James Ratliff the other day. We have was it Mopar, big Mopar event.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We got the what they call LS Fest. So I think what we're going to do going forward is maybe tap into some of our local big car shows. I'm going to try it.
Yeah,
tap in that local market. You know, that's how Adam started. He started going to shows. Now I don't listen, guys. I like cars. I don't love cars. I love business.
Yeah, there you
go. I learn how to grow. So I don't want to spend my entire weekend at a car show. But if I'm going back to the whole social media aspect, if social media went away tomorrow, what would I do? You know, of course, we focus on email newsletters. I send those out once in a while.
Sure.
But I think focusing more on your local market and realizing, once again, going back to the egocentrical detailer, the average person I talk to on the street, I know more about detailing than he'll know in his entire life, and he has a car collection.
Right.
At base.
You know, I proposed the question yesterday after all this was going down, and I'm, like I said, by the way, I'm probably giving her even more credit just by mentioning it, because it fell on deaf ears for the most part. But like, what does the person now that's seen this post that says, "Oh, okay, Dustin got a divorce, I need my car detailed. I'm not going to go to him because he's divorced." Like, no, like that plays no part unless they're directly involved. Like, her grandmother may not come here. Okay. But she never came here to begin with. Right. You know, so
a heart specialist if they got divorced.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Like if I'm dying and I'm like, and the surgeon just, you know, he's like, well, yeah, open me up. I ain't got nothing to do with that.
Can you solve my problem? Can you solve my problem? I have a problem. And I think this is where we need to go in our industry, and perhaps even out to the public. Problem solution.
That's it.
Now, Billy, you've kind of mentioned that you might be moving soon, huh? You're thinking about moving a little bit further down south in Kentucky?
Well, you know, Mobile is number one on my map, or you know,
nice.
North of Mobile. What was it called? Sarah
Saraland. Come on, we got room for you.
So, and I know you guys are going to ask me if we're going to go to SEMA, so let's just do two birds with one stone.
Love it.
We're not going to SEMA this year. My wife obviously works a job.
Sure.
She has a limited amount of vacation time. And we're so focused on the direction we want to go going forward that instead of going to SEMA, we want to take that time and go to Alabama. So I'll be down there in Alabama. I am looking to relocate American Detailer Garage and the company to South Alabama. It's my number one pick.
Man, we are we welcome with open arms, and you know, like me and you've had many talks about this and you know, the opportunities and what we can do to help. But you already know we're there for you, man. We'd love to see you this way. I think that it just, you know, it makes sense, and we'd love to see you. I want to talk a little bit about events. Like we talk about SEMA, we talk about Mobile Tech, SDC, and things. It's important for these detailers to experience these things. I'm not saying you go to every one, because it is a cost, and you had to weigh that cost. You say, what's right for my business? But to go to these things and do something, it really gets you out of your like rabbit hole, you know, and it puts you out in front, and where you can meet these suppliers and meet these things and test and I'm a hands-on kind of guy when it comes to products and tools. I want to see it. I want to feel it. I want to see you face to face when we're buying.
Yeah.
And it gives you that opportunity. Billy, I think you kind of agree that it's important that these guys try to make it to some of these to learn these things.
Oh, guys, I've been saying this for a long time. If you're a detailer on social media and you've been on the fence about going to an event and maybe perhaps you're apprehensive about going to an event because of what you see on social media.
Sure.
I guarantee you, when you go to an event in person, it's nothing like what you see on social media. And I'll also tell you that people on social media starting fires and starting shit, they don't come to events. I can't tell you how many times somebody's told me, well, I'll see you at Mobile Tech. They don't come. So if you want to hang out with really good people, Mobile Tech Expo, the SDC, are two of the, I think it's better than SEMA.
Oh, it is. It is.
SEMA, you don't get a chance to talk to Dustin Jackson or really me because we're so busy.
Yep. It's
Mobile
specific.
You have that. And then I'll also say this, just spoiler alert, and that's something that we'll talk about, Dustin, but I'm looking at American Detailer Academy.
Yeah.
Looking at doing my own training program.
Yeah.
So if you want to learn how to plug and play these things, go to Mobile Tech Expo, Orlando, SDC, Kentucky, and then maybe some of these training events around the country and really meet the people, because once again, our investment is seeing you grow and build. I'm not trying to sell you a product. You're going to buy it anyway.
Right.
But I want to see people win. I want you to see that what you see online is not what you see in person.
I think it's funny because you mentioned it, like these guys may be intimidated because you watch these groups and you think that social media is giving you a glimpse into what, small sector of our industry is. When you go to these events, dude, it is like family. It's like, we're all, most of the suppliers, most of the guys that are there are all buddies. We're all happy to be there. We're happy to see detailers there. It's a fun thing. We go out and hang out that evening. Go ahead, Billy.
Let me add this too, because when we came back from SDC this year, I had multiple messages. Hey, brother, I saw you. I wanted to come up and meet you, but it looked like you were busy. I didn't want to bother you. Please come bother me.
Right.
Yes.
Yep. Introduce yourself, please. The last thing I want to do.
That's exactly what I tell everybody every year when we're getting in front of it. Go up to these, dude, we are just like you. You come up here, man, talk, introduce yourself. Let's talk business. I want to hear about your shop. I want to hear about things that's going on, because guess what? I learn as much from you as you're going to learn from me. And that's because I'm open-minded and I want to hear your story too. It's valuable to me to hear what your struggles are, what you got going on. That's what makes it great.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I love it, dude. We're going to have a great time at SEMA. We're going to miss you there.
Yeah.
Hopefully I get to meet Greg Masterson finally. I hope he's got a booth there.
We do. He's a good, I know him personally. He's a good dude.
Right. That's all I've heard. And I'm definitely excited to get to,
Ryan's been a fanboy for a long time. And we had him on the
you
podcast.
And Greg have a little bit of similarities, right? So you guys have both, notoriety. Greg had, the way he markets his products is genius. You're speaking to 20 to 40-year-old guys. So why wouldn't you use what 20 to 40-year-old guys are into? It's brilliant.
The day we officially launched American Detailer Garage as a company, that very day, I don't even know how you got my number. Greg Masterson called me on the phone.
Wow.
That night, I was shocked. I'd never talked to him before, congratulated me. The Greg Masterson that I know in person is not what you see online.
Exactly.
He has to play his role online, but do not get bamboozled. The man's a professional.
Judge. Yeah, and I believe that 100%. We all kind of have a facade that you have to put up. Just like I've kept my personal life separate, and from social media, and so we all you have your real, but it's a version. Right. Yeah. And especially when you talk about marketing and content and things like that, you are positioning yourself in a manner that, it is you, but in a sense, it's a different.
You're showing trying to show the best side of you.
It's a version. And so, these guys that sell out and they think, okay, this is what this is 100%. There are times where it is and there's times where it isn't. So,
Justin, where I was last Sunday, and I'm not gonna.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I assure you, that day, we were just human.
Yes.
Didn't talk about any of that stuff. No. And it was a great time.
Well, how much of this matters outside of our industry? Like guys, real world problems are not what polish are you using on this car? Like, it's just not real world problems at the end of the day.
Well, I was just talking. My buddy Michael Butts called me this morning.
That's my buddy. Hold on. Why? That's my buddy.
We were talking this morning. I said, Michael, listen, I'm a polish collector too. Okay. But we got to focus on building the business first. Listen, I'm 45. My daughter's grown and gone. I got a grandbaby.
Yeah.
If you're raising kids at home, I assure you, let me promise you this: 2003, 4, 5, 6, 7. I didn't have the money to go out and buy all this stuff. I was raising a family, working my butt off. All right. So if you're coming up, those shiny objects are always going to be there. In fact, they're probably going to get improved. Version 2, version 3, version 4. Go out there and learn how to make some money, make your family proud. I'll talk about faith, family, fitness, and finance. Conquer all 4 of those. And if you do, the trinkets and toys will always be there.
They will. They will. And you build the relationships. So how you come off the other side of the sword is you build the relationships organically. Yes, you can bring in the leads through social media, but you build that relationship personally. So therefore, if they flip the switch, that customer still understands who you are and what you're about. And it's not just a picture or a video on a screen, but you are a real person that does real business that they can come back to, regardless if Facebook says you exist or you don't.
That's right. And so getting your own.
I think that's how we survive the deplatforming.
It is. Oh, it is. This relationships, real relationships, not virtual, you know?
And so, I was just going to say that you're not a real detailer unless Flex is giving you an engraved red beast. You know what I mean? Shout out Mike Phillips. You know,
I got one.
With your name engraved.
Mine's probably lost in the mail.
I'm sure it is. Yeah, right with mine.
No, man, listen, dude, it's always fun. Billy, you got anything else you wanted to throw out there, buddy? I know we've talked about a lot. We've covered a lot of ground here. Anything else on your mind?
Yeah, I hope that people watch this podcast and realize that we're not spotlighting the negative. What we did decide to do, though, was spotlight, because I told Dustin, I said, man, I don't want softball questions. Let's do hard questions.
Yeah.
And really tackle things that people really in the back of their mind want to know. So I hope that you listen to the podcast and don't think that we were hitting on the negative, but we're doing is shining a light on the ugly part that nobody wants to talk about. And it's never been mentioned. I've never been asked on any other podcast before.
Yeah. Yeah. And same with me. You know, I've kept all this private. I handle everything kind of behind the scenes, and my staff does a great job of keeping anything that could be twisted negative in staff. So by me opening up to this, what me and you talked about is exactly what I did. I wanted it all out there, and let's talk about it, because these are real problems. Like this, what I'm going through is an issue, and what you go through on days where it's not going so great are issues that you have to resolve. It's just all in how you respond to them is everything. And that's what, guys, if you're on social media and you're using it to advertise, and you're using it to build your business, you need to prepare yourself for when the shit storm happens. What are you going to do?
Number 1 advice: don't drink and Facebook.
You can after a certain hour. Just don't make it like good.
It's just like drinking and driving, dude. You got to get good at it, you know. So
no, Ryan.
Final question for Dustin. I got one final question for Dustin. We're talking about energy drinks and things like that.
Yeah.
I was talking to Ryan yesterday on the phone. I was like, he's like, you need a Ryan Hagen. I'm like, so all night long I've been trying to figure out how to get him fired.
Okay.
I have a better idea. If we give him some more Jocko fuel, do you think we can pump 20 more hours a week out of him?
Easy.
Dude, yeah, probably. I don't think I get 40 anyway, so. No, I'm just playing. But he tells a different story, by the way. He really says that you're chasing him. I think at the end of the day, he's planting the seed over here. Ron's listen. I jank on Ron all the time. It's fun. It's our relationship. You know, that's just who we are. He's got a great sense of humor. We get each other. But dude, when it comes down to it, he can get down. He relates to these guys. He wants to help our industry, and this is not bullshit. That he wants to genuinely help everybody, and that's why he is so good at what he does, and that's why you want him and you won't get him.
guys watching the podcast, if you've never met Dustin or Ryan, I'm gonna tell you something. Right, Dustin's not gonna tell you, so I might as well tell you. He runs multiple companies. He has one hell of a team, second to none. Nothing like I've ever seen. Ryan is like, man, I can't say things publicly, but I'm telling you, what you see is what you get. If you're not with Detail Bookie, you need to look into them, because you're dealing with first-class people, man.
Thanks,
These
man.
are friends of mine.
Dude, that I appreciate that. You can't see him, but it puts you.
Yeah, I was about to say it too. I saw you look down.
Man, love you, brother, as always. We're gonna jump off here, but appreciate you. Appreciate your honesty, your rawness, brother. Man. Love you, brother. I'll talk to you later.
See you soon.
See you.
Take it easy, bro. That's so awesome. I know, dude. I'm over here too.
It's cool.
It feels good.
It does feel good. It felt good to get that, like to not cover so much all the time, and just like it felt good to get some stuff out, right? Yeah, it
we're gonna have a great weekend, dude. It's gonna be awesome,
we are. So this would be a great time for Michelob Ultra if I wasn't drinking. I mean, if
Oh,
I was,
that's
drinking,
right,
if
you're
I
not
was-
drinking?
I'm not drinking. I got 45 more days, dude.
Dude, we need to get a Michelob Ultra sponsorship. I think that's who we need to go
probably
after.
upset with me right
I
now.
know. That's what I'm saying. They got to
probably-
get you back in the game.
They've cut the staff back at the distillery for 32 hours a week.
So, well, man, listen, we've had a lot of fun with Billy, and,
Yep.
and now it's time to get down to what I'm sure all of you stuck around for. It's
Yeah,
today's
you know they
Ethan.
All
Right.
right.
That's correct. Or hack.
Right,
Perfectly.
God, that was perfect. 303 is often used to protect plastics, but
Yeah.
that's usually on the inside of the car. Did you know it also can be used on tires, Dustin?
Well, yes, I did. Go ahead.
What time is it, Chris?
$3,000 years of
Protection.
Tests. Yes.
Bro, that's that's awesome.
I don't think it gets any better than that. No sling for 3,000 years.
3,000 years.
303 is the bomb. No, it's a great protectant. You know, listen, it does cost. It's expensive.
It's more expensive than tire shine, though.
It's more expensive than tire shine, but it's a true protectant. It doesn't sling. It's got a nice matte finish to it. It's a great product. We've used it on our boats. Let me tell you where it's really good is boat seats.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's mold prevention. It's got the SPF in it. You know, it's like
Nice.
sunscreen
Right.
for your seats. It does good. You know, and it's a great thing.
That's
You know?
right. So today's detailed bookie play-by-play brought to you by 303.
303 and what is this? Jocko.
Oh my God,
Energy Drink.
Jocko sponsored
So I'm
us.
on this,
Yeah.
I'm doing this Ironman in 45 days, and my trainer, I was looking for some, you know, like an afternoon energy drink because that's when, like, my crash is like 1 or 2 o'clock. I want to eat candy. I want to get some sugar
You
in.
do love some candy.
I love some candy, and they're cutting that out because I'm trying to drop 10 pounds. And so he hooked me up with this, and let me tell you, it tastes about like you would think a nasty energy drink would taste.
I think it tastes great. It tastes just
You
like a
like
Red Bull. Yeah, it's fine.
Oh man, it's
It's
bland to
fine.
me. All right. So, anyways, listen. Next week's show, we're starting a new a whole new series.
So it's a whole
right?
new series. By far my favorite series that we did up to date, you know, and we're going to be revisiting that with Detail Bookie MVPs.
Yeah, and MVPs are people that are using the software every day. We're going to make a post into our private group where all the the paid users are, and we're going to ask for people that want to come on the show. This gives us a chance to highlight detailers that are actually using the software. We don't care; it's not a push product kind of thing. It's like we want to hear about you.
Yeah,
and
we're
what
not
you're
going to talk about the software. We're just going to talk about the detailers that happen to be using it so every day out in the business, right?
Yeah, and it's going to be great. It's just an opportunity to shed some light on some detailers, guys, that may not have a platform yet that they're using, and it gives us a chance to put them in that and then talk to them, hear about it. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome, man. I'm looking forward to it as well.
And if you're looking to grow your business, you can always look us up on your favorite podcast listening area. That's going to wrap